So I've chosen the worst time of the year I could have done really to do this pond. And for the last couple of weeks I've not been feeling great. I've had a head cold. For the last week it's been quite heavy as well. And I'm not one to play on that, but I'm going to do on this occasion. Now, I said I'd make a start on this one over the Christmas period really, and that's what it is now. I had my last day at work yesterday, should have been today, but I was feeling a little bit ropey. So I thought, well, I might be feeling ropey, but I can do this in bite-sized chunks. So I've made a start, and I said, promised I would give you updates as we started it and did it. I don't want to do it in one long video because that'd be a bit daft. It won't show you really the correct procedure. So what I've done this morning, and it is raining as I'm recording this, what I've done this morning is I've dug all around the edge of it again. So remember, I dug this quite a way back in the summer, the first bit of it, and obviously over time some of the soils fell back in. So I've been back round just to define the edge again, and I put that sandy looking stuff around it just to define, well, for this video really, to show you what I've done. Now the little bits of carpet you can see, they're just old carpet that I've put on. And it's a simple process. I mean, most people can get hold of some old carpet. My neighbour gave me the greeny bits, and then we had some carpet herself that I could use. And the reason I'm putting it down is because we get lots of stones, and I'm on chalk. You've got to remember I'm on chalk. Can we show you? Oh, there we go. Look, there's a perfect example. There's a stone there which is not chalk, but anyway, it's a bit of concrete. But we have a lot of chalk that pushes its way up, and what happens over time is the worms do the work underneath the ponds, under the pond liners, and they push stones up, and sometimes they push stones up with sharp edges. Now what I've done, because I had access to this sand and it was already left here, I'm using it up on here. So I've already put some down under there. So we dug that little hole out. Now imagine that's just the pond. Obviously it's not, that's part of the pond. Imagine we've dug that as a huge pond. I've kind of given it its first layer to help stop the stones. Now it won't stop them fully. They will still push through that as the soil gets worked on by the worms, but that will help to slow it down. Now what I've done as well is obviously got this carpet, put this down now. This will stop the stones. Definitely stop the stones. I've not got enough carpet to go completely all the way around, which is a shame, but there you go. I've done the most awkward bits that I think, because I've got one or two changes coming on this pond, and I've got the carpet where I think I'm going to need it based on what I'm going to do. So as you can see, that's liner already down. Now that's not the final liner, because with this pond material, with the actual pond plastic itself, it is a type of plastic, you get this liner as well, you get this underlay as they're calling it. It's this, and it's very, to be honest, it's very, very cheap material, and it's very thin. Now, I wouldn't think for 1 minute that that's going to stop this. It's going to stop it at all. And what I shall do, that is in an oblong shape. It's quite big. It's going to be more than I need for this. So I shall open it out, fold it down, push it into those two dippy bits that you can see, the little roundy bits. I shall dip it into there, push it along there, and it'll cover that section as well. So that's like, well, for some bits, the third layer that I'm protecting it. Now don't rush this process, because this is the most important process that you're going to do on your pond, and that is based on the fact that you're going to have stones on most gardens, unless you're really sandy, and I mean heavy sand, then you're going to have some type of stone in your garden that's eventually going to come up. So this is a very, very important stage of building your pond, whatever it be. Plastic, even the plastic formed ones, it's still important to do the prep work. Of everything, prep work is the most important. Spend 50, 60, 70% of your time on the prep, and then your pond should be absolutely fine. So that's what I've done this morning. I've had a couple of hours at it. As I say, I'm not feeling too good, but anyway, I still keep going. Quite an ardent gardener. And I've done that. I've got it to that stage. Now, I had hoped to roll out that next, the black section, which is the oblong, which will then neaten all this up. But it's starting to pour it down with rain, and I don't want to get wet. I don't want to make myself any worse than I already am. I'm not looking for sympathy, but send some if you've got some. Yeah, so there we are. That's the phase I'm at the moment. As I say, prep, and more prep. Make sure that you've got good lining on the base of your pond. Whatever shape it be, you need all that definitely. And that's mainly for the stones that's going to come up. And believe me, they will. Don't think you can get away with that for 1 minute. I've built ponds in the past where people have thought they could get away with it, or I thought I could get away with it, and watched other people get away with it, only to find that there's a leak at some point in the future. So if you've got some old carpet, get yourself some old carpet. It's by far the best. I've got the underlay that they sent with it, the people who supplied me the pond liner itself, but it's rubbish. But I will put it down because, again, it's an extra thickness, and then it will neaten it up. The pond liner I bought, I'll show you on the next video. It's good quality. It's not cheap stuff. It's looking, it looks pretty good. I've paid a little bit more for quality. You get what you pay for. So it's looking good. And that's kind of the beginning of the end. So hopefully within a couple more videos, this wildlife area pond cum dip pool will be looking good. And it's going to look nice. I mean, it looks very shoddy at the moment, and don't be deceived by that. You cannot have an omelette without breaking an egg. Okay, I'll talk to you on the next one. Ta-da.